are announcing the pilot of the Ultra FICO score, which is a new score that allows consumers to contribute information about their checking, savings, money market accounts to potentially boost their FICO score.
There's a ton going on in this space. A lot going on with the billing space and the payment space, and all sorts of different ways of electronically moving the payments around. But what's really starting to take off now is the presentment of the content. So not just going to your bank and seeing that you owe $40, but to be able to go to your bank, see what's there, how the $40 happened, how that compares to your previous 3 months, and get some trending information, to be able to change your account information right on the fly and be able to interact with your documents. So all that's just now starting to hit the market. And there's a lot of folks that we're talking to that are looking to be able to provide that content through multiple channels.
It's very different in the eastern part of the world. In Asia, for example, customers do everything, right from buying new accounts, relationships into organizations, and also into commerce from the banking portals. We see that shift coming through very clearly. So tomorrow maybe you will be interacting with your bank on let's say an Alexa, and you will tell your bank, listen, I'm going to be buying something on Amazon, can I buy it in parts, and can you make that really happen? So we will see that shift very clearly from a bank being just a service provider with your account information to your bank being an API to the rest of the world, a gateway, right? That shift is going to completely happen in unstructured media.
Something that's becoming very common now with companies raising money through ICOs is the need to do KYC, to know who they're selling to. That's becoming very important. There's also a very big trend, especially for US companies that are raising money, to make sure that they're only selling to accredited investors at the moment, and KYC is critical to that.
The Ultra FICO score, it's a fairly simple idea. If you don't love your FICO score, why don't you come and share a little bit more information with us, and maybe we can do better. Let us look at your banking behavior. Let us look at your average daily balances. And assuming good behavior in those things, we see 70% of people wind up with a better score. And so in a nutshell, that's Ultra FICO.
There are some partnerships that we have in place. We are working with the partners in the ecosystem like Stripe, like Square, to make sure every retailer can accept digital payments. We have our own technology in B2B payments, like invoice management, like that we are taking to them, so that all these technologies that has been previously used by large, as you said, large companies, large retailers, now become more affordable for small businesses as we democratize, I think, these technologies.
We see a lot of consumers requiring the need of frictionless, requiring the need of demanding basically from their banks multiple things. Stronger security, that's one, and the second thing is convenience. And from that perspective, what's driving a lot of the growth for us is how do we get banks to compete with the smaller fintech companies that are coming out there that are only mobile enabled. And at the end of the day, it's a very regulated ecosystem. Banks are selling trust. So they're selling trust today in the physical space because they can vet the consumer out, they can see him face to face. But how do they sell trust in the digital space?
What this Ultra FICO score looks at is really behavior over time. It's not about instantaneous. It's, have you kept a bank account for a long time or some amount of time? Are you keeping average balances that are healthy over time? Are you saving a little bit of money over time and not having negative balances?
What we see is Asia is going to be a very significant amount of growth in the coming years. We've already started focusing on that. You'll see us more there next year. We also see where new entrants, a lot of companies that haven't even been invented yet, are entering the market, or challenger banks. So in the last couple of years, we've seen a sort of the dismantling of banks. So companies like Square, Square Cash, or N26, Revolut, Monzo, Starling, you name it, are being built and build these incredible constituencies. Here in the US, Chime has built a network of 2 million consumers, adding 150,000 every day. They very much look like a bank, but they built services specifically for their constituency, and their growth has been spectacular.
When you talk about digital engagement, typically is how consumers are able to move through a process, and in this case, applying for a loan. The easier you make it, younger consumers are used to that technology and they want to respond to that technology, and they understand easy usage means they're able to get that loan quicker, it's easier. Versus, I'll say maybe some older consumers, the Gen Xers or baby boomers, are more used to maybe our older, slower processes over time. And so really you have consumers preferring a better experience, putting that user experience over a relationship, an existing relationship they might have.